You know, most people believe independence disappears the moment you hit 70. But what if I told you the real reason older adults lose mobility and confidence has almost nothing to do with age itself, and everything to do with a few invisible, preventable mistakes? Today, I'm counting down the 7 things most doctors will never tell you about staying independent, strong, and capable well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. And when we get to number 1, I promise you, it will change the way you think about aging forever. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Number 7. The fastest way to lose independence is letting tiny weaknesses go untreated. Not big problems, tiny ones. The little stiffness in your ankle when you first get out of bed, the slight wobble when you step onto a curb, the shoulder that's just a bit tighter than it was last month. Most people ignore these because they don't seem serious. But here's the truth. Independence is not lost in one dramatic fall. It slips away in small, quiet moments when you stop responding to the little alarms your body is ringing. Researchers from the National Institute on Aging found that older adults don't suddenly become frail. Instead, their body loses about 1% of strength and stability per year, unless they intentionally reverse it. 1% doesn't sound like much, but it's like losing 1 brick a day from the foundation of your house. You don't notice the first 50, but you feel it by the time the windows start rattling. I once had a patient named Marianne, a 72-year-old grandmother who came to me because she'd almost fallen stepping out of her car. She told me it just came out of nowhere, but when we traced it back, it didn't. Her ankle had been stiff for months. Her balance had been slipping. Her gait had changed so slowly she didn't even notice. It wasn't age. It was accumulation. The surprising part, within 8 weeks of doing a simple routine, 10 toe raises in the morning, 40 seconds of single-leg balance practice, and a short walk after lunch, she felt steadier than she had in years. The foundation had been rebuilt, 1 brick at a time. So here's your step. Address small weaknesses immediately, 10 minutes a day. Because the longer you wait, the harder your body has to fight to catch up. And the next item on this list, it's something that accelerates weakness faster than almost anything else. Number 6, the real enemy isn't aging, it's sitting. And not just sitting for long periods, sitting in the wrong way, sitting in fear, sitting because you've been told at your age you need to rest more. If you've heard that, I'm here to lovingly unteach it, because every hour of stillness after 70 has a measurable cost. A study from Stanford University discovered that older adults who sit more than 8 hours a day lose up to 30% more muscle from their legs each decade. Not because their muscles get old, but because unused muscle literally dissolves. Picture a vibrant river. Now picture a river that hasn't moved for months. It doesn't dry up instantly. It slowly becomes shallow, stagnant, quiet. Your muscles behave the same way. And yet the solution isn't running marathons or joining a gym. I had a patient, Bill, who was 81 and terrified of exercise because he thought it meant pain, sweating, and heavy weights. But we started small. Every commercial break while watching TV, he'd stand up and sit down 5 times. That alone triggered enough muscle activation to reverse the trend. Within 3 months, he needed fewer breaks while walking his dog. 6 months in, he told me, I feel like I'm back in my body again. Your body doesn't need intense workouts. It needs movement snacks. Stand up every 20 minutes. March in place while waiting for the microwave. Stretch your calves when brushing your teeth. These small signals tell your nervous system, we are still using this body. Keep it strong. But what comes next might surprise you even more. Number 5, your brain controls your balance far more than your legs do. And most people never train it. When we talk about staying independent, the conversation usually turns to leg strength, walking speed, arthritis, or joint pain. But balance, true balance, starts in the brain, not the knees. Inside your inner ear are tiny sensors that send signals to your brain every millisecond, telling it where your head is in space. As we age, those sensors become less sensitive, not weaker, just less practiced. It's like not using a pair of reading glasses for years and then putting them on again. The world feels strange until your brain recalibrates. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic discovered something remarkable. Seniors who did just 2 minutes of head-turn balance training per day improved stability by 40% in 8 weeks. 2 minutes. That's it. No gym, no equipment. Just standing near a counter and gently turning your head side to side while keeping your body still. You're training your brain, not your muscles. I once worked with a retired firefighter who felt unsteady whenever he turned to talk to someone behind him. It made him anxious. And that's something I want you to really hear. Anxiety around movement is one of the greatest threats to independence. Fear changes your gait. Fear makes you rigid. Fear makes you look down instead of forward. And the moment your eyes drop, your balance changes. But once he trained his inner ear system, his confidence came back. He told me, "I thought my balance was gone forever. I didn't realize my brain just needed practice." So here's your step. Every day, stand next to a stable surface and gently turn your head side to side, then up and down for 1 minute each direction. You're not just training balance. You're teaching your brain to trust your body again. Speaking of trust, the next one is going to hit home for many people. Number 4. Independence begins with nutrition long before it shows up in mobility. Most people think healthy eating is about avoiding disease, but for seniors, it's not about disease. It's about power. The power to stand up from a chair, the power to climb stairs, the power to carry groceries without feeling winded halfway to the door. Your muscles are hungry, and not just for protein, though protein is a big one. After 70, your muscles need nearly twice the protein they did when you were 40, not because your body is breaking down, because it becomes less efficient at using what you give it. This is something I wish more doctors would tell their patients. Researchers from the University of Texas found that adults over 70 built significantly more muscle when they had 25-30 grams of protein at each meal, compared to those who ate the same amount spread thinly throughout the day. It's not the total, it's the timing. And here's something else most people never hear. Dehydration mimics aging. Low water intake can cause weakness, dizziness, confusion, and fatigue that look like symptoms of aging, but aren't. They're just signs your body is running low on the very fuel your cells use to operate properly. I had a patient named Lauren, 76, kind-hearted, quiet, always putting everyone else first. He came to me thinking he was losing strength because I'm old, but after reviewing his diet, we realized he was eating 1 small meal a day, barely any protein, and drinking maybe 20 ounces of water. He didn't need medication, he needed nourishment. Within weeks of adding 2 balanced meals with lean protein and doubling his water intake, he felt 10 years younger. Which brings me to a quick question for you. When did you first notice your body changing? Was it your strength, your balance, your energy levels? Share your story in the comments. I read every single one, and I promise someone out there will relate to what you've lived through. Now we're getting into the top 3, and these next ones are where everything starts to shift. Number 3, your mindset around aging affects your physical abilities more than almost any other factor. This isn't positive thinking or inspirational fluff. This is neuroscience. Researchers at Yale tracked seniors for over 20 years and found that those with a positive view of aging lived 7.5 years longer on average. Not because they were lucky, because their belief changed their biology. When you believe your body is fragile, you move like it's fragile. You stop lifting things. You stop taking stairs. You stop challenging your muscles. And when you do that, your body responds by becoming exactly what you fear, more fragile. But when you believe your body is adaptable, resilient, and still capable of change, which it absolutely is, You begin to push it in small but important ways, and the body responds the same way it did when you were younger. It adapts, strengthens, and rebuilds. I'll never forget a man named Ron, 88 years old. He came to me with a walker and a look of resignation in his eyes. "I guess this is it," he said. But I didn't see a man at the end of his abilities. I saw a man who'd been told a story about himself that wasn't true. We trained slowly, intentionally, a little bit of walking, a few supported squats, breathing exercises, nutrition tweaks, and week by week, his body answered. 4 months later, he walked into my office without his walker. When I asked him how he felt, he said, "I feel like I woke up. And now I want to know, what would you do with 10 extra years of strong, independent living? Travel, play with grandkids, go back to an old hobby? Write that in the comments. Say it publicly. Claim it. Because naming your future is the first step toward building it." And that brings us to the second most important truth I wish every older adult knew. Number 2, social connection is more protective than exercise, diet, or medication. I know that sounds unbelievable, but research from Harvard, the longest study on adult development ever done, found that strong social relationships predict longevity more than almost any medical factor. More than smoking history, more than cholesterol levels, more than exercise habits. Why? Because loneliness triggers chronic inflammation in the body, the same inflammation that weakens muscles, slows healing, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging. When you are isolated, your nervous system goes into a subtle survival mode. Your hormones shift, your immune system becomes less efficient, your energy drops. But when you feel connected, when you laugh, talk, share stories, know you matter to someone, your body releases chemicals that protect your brain, strengthen your heart, and stabilize your mood. I had a patient named Frances. After her husband passed, she became quiet, withdrawn. She stopped going to her weekly card games. She started tripping more often, forgetting appointments, feeling tired. But nothing was wrong medically. What she needed was connection. Her daughter signed her up for a local seniors walking group. The first week, she only went for 10 minutes. The next week, 20. Then someone invited her for coffee afterward. 3 months later, she told me, "I feel alive again." Her balance improved, her sleep improved, her energy returned, not from medication, from people. If you've been isolating lately, please hear me. You don't need dozens of friends. You just need 1 or 2 people you can talk to, laugh with, or spend time with. Call someone today, join a class, volunteer. Let yourself be seen. The body heals faster in community. And now, we've arrived at number 1. The truth that redefines everything you thought you knew about aging. The truth that has saved more independence than any exercise, medication, supplement, or therapy I've ever seen. Number 1. The biggest predictor of staying independent after 70 is not your strength, not your balance, not your joints. It's your ability to keep learning new things. Your brain is the command center for your entire independence. Every step you take, every movement you make, every choice your body executes starts in your brain. And the brain is the most adaptable organ you have at any age. Neuroscientists used to believe brain cells stopped growing after childhood, but that idea is long dead. Today, we know something revolutionary. The brain continues to create new neurons for your entire life, especially in areas responsible for memory, movement, and coordination. And what triggers this growth? Novelty, new experiences, learning. When you learn a new skill, whether it's dancing, gardening, painting, using a smartphone, or even taking a new route on your walk, your brain forms new pathways. These pathways strengthen your balance, your reaction time, your problem-solving ability, and your mood. They keep your nervous system sharp and responsive, which is critical for preventing falls and maintaining mobility. One of my favorite patients, a woman named Ellen, was 93 years old and still living independently. When I asked her secret, she smiled and said, I wake up every day and ask myself, what new thing am I trying today? She painted, she learned Spanish, she kept a small herb garden, she memorized poems, she tried Tai Chi, and every time she learned something new, her brain stayed young. Here's the part that gives me goosebumps. MRI studies show that seniors who learn new skills have stronger neural networks than adults 40 years younger. In other words, learning doesn't just keep you engaged, it rewires your brain to stay capable. If you take nothing else from this entire video, take this. You are not done growing. You are not done evolving. Your brain is still hungry. And when your brain stays alive, your independence follows. So try something new this week. Anything, a new puzzle, a new recipe, a new walking path, a new conversation, a new class, a new idea. Your future self will thank you. And I want to close with this. You are not aging into weakness. You are aging into possibility. Every cell in your body is listening to how you treat it, how you move it, how you nourish it, and how you speak about it. You are not fragile. You are rebuilding. And every day you wake up is another chance to add strength back into your story. If this message reminded you that your best years aren't behind you, share it with someone you love, someone who needs hope, someone who deserves to know they are still capable of more than they realize. And if you want to keep rebuilding your strength, your joy, and your independence, I'd love for you to subscribe, because every day I'll be right here, helping you take one powerful step forward. You're not done. In fact, you're just getting started.